been confused when someone agrees with you but uses a negative word to emphasize his point? Well, if you're that confused, don't you worry, because I will help you understand, identify, and compose negative statements, negative questions, and double negatives. So, hello everyone, I'm Nicole Kate Oliveris Bandal, and I'm about to discuss the structure of negation. So buckle up and let's get started. Negation is the action or logical operation of negating or making negatives. Negation defines the conversion of the affirmative sentence into negative. So, in simpler words, negation produces negative sentences or statements. Negative statements includes statements of things that are false. They don't have to be accurate or true. They're simply statements from a speaker or writer that are believed to be untrue. An example of a negative sentence is, I do not like to sing. By changing the helping verb do into negative with the words that contradict such as not, we can apply negation in a sentence. Another example of a negative sentence is, the evil stepmother never loved Snow White. The word never is what makes the sentence negative because it contradicts. Kylie can buy Gucci for her daughter. In this sentence positive in the present tense, how are you going to transform it into negative in the past tense? Well, it's simple. You're going to change the present can into its past form could and add not to negate it. In that way, it will be, Kylie could not buy Gucci for her daughter. Negative statements can make use of the words do or will, including did, does, can, and could before not. So, it will be do not, will not, could not. In any of these constructs, it's possible to substitute could not with the contraction can't. Negative statements are also typically formed by adding the word not after the helping verb. The most popular helping verbs are a form of to be, including am, is, are, was, and were. Another thing to understand is that the word not is usually used in splitting verbs in negatives. My friends are not drinking beer tonight. In this example, the word not split the verbs are and drinking. Note on splitting exemption, when a form of verb to be such as am, are, is, was, were stands alone as a single word verb, it doesn't need a verb string to split. To become negative, it simply adds not. Like, for example, Virgin is in class today. The verb to be is stands alone as a single word verb. So, to make it negative, we will add not next to is. Now the sentence will be, Virgin is not in class today. Bella did not love Jacob. In this past form of the negative sentence, what have you noticed about the main verb love? I'm surely you noticed that the main verb love does not have an ed ending, right? It is because when forming a negative in the past tense, the helping verb did is what signals the past tense, so the main verb love remains untouched. Understood? How about the double negatives? What is it? Double negatives are two negatives used in the same phrase or sentence. But should we use double negatives or avoid it? Avoid it. We should avoid double negatives because they are considered incorrect in standard English. Double negatives are also confusing. That's because double negatives cancel each other out and make positive. An example of a double negative is, I couldn't find no paper. How could you change it into a correct negative? It's very simple. Exclude the word no, since the helping verb could is already negative with not. So the sentence becomes, I couldn't find paper. In order to make a sentence of negation grammatically correct, we will only use a single negative. Now let's move on to questions. If a regular question is a request for information, what is the use of a negative question? A negative question uses a negative contracted verb, and it implies that the speaker already knows what is correct. Speakers of English often want to confirm information we think we know. In other words, we might know something about a fact and we simply want to know if it's true or not. We use negative question for confirmation, opinion, polite request, and offer. A negative question for confirmation can be, didn't you see Anne yesterday? You may also express your opinions in a more polite way by changing them into negative questions, such as, wouldn't it be nice to paint the walls green? Pressing offers and invitations often assume the form of negative questions. They usually begin with the words, want you, wouldn't you, or why don't you? For example, wouldn't you like to drink? Another example is, why don't you come and spend the evening with us? Another examples of negative questions. Don't you like to read? Is a negative question for confirmation. Wouldn't it be nice if you spent your time with me? It's a negative question for opinion. Why don't you have dinner with me? It's a negative question for polite request. Wouldn't you like another cup of coffee? It's a negative question for offer. That's it. That's the concept of negative sentences and questions. I hope you apply what you have learned today in formal writing and in daily conversations with your friends or family. Thank you for listening.